Hey folks, Tito, Jeff Thitoff here with you for the Buckeye Blitz. Thanks so much for tuning in. Follow me on Twitter @ThitHappens. Lots to talk about today. The Ohio State basketball seasons are officially over. So yesterday afternoon, I should say, the OSU women lost 83-73 to Notre Dame. It's the third straight year Ohio State's lost in the second round at home, nonetheless. Tough loss for the Buckeyes. Hannah Hidalgo was fantastic for Notre Dame. 26 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 steals. The Jelani Cambridge, by the way, for Ohio State, 41.7 rebounds. Fantastic game. Didn't get much help, though. No one else scored in double figures for Ohio State. Buckeyes came out big. They went up 11-0 right away. Then Notre Dame took over and actually had a 13-point lead at one point in the second half. Ohio State rallied back, got it to within a couple, and then just fell apart down the stretch. And the thing was, too many turnovers. Plain and simple. Ohio State committed way too many turnovers and did not force enough on their end. Ohio State had they gave up 25 points on turnovers. So a bad game for the Ohio State offense. They had their second most turnovers of the season. They gave away 24 against UConn back in November. So kind of a theme there. The two of the better teams that Ohio State faced, and they had a hard time holding on to the ball. So where does Ohio State go from here? It's a big season upcoming for Kevin McGuff and for the Buckeyes. Getting to host 3 straight years and not making it out of your home site is not good. McGuff is 14-9 in his 13 years in the tournament. I should say in the tournament in the 13 years he's been at Ohio State. So a big offseason coming up here for the Bucks. An important offseason for the Bucks. They do have some, as long as no one else transfers out, they'll have the Cambridge sisters coming back, which is really big. Ava Watson, Jelani Cambridge and Kennedy Cambridge, the Cambridge sisters, they're very important part of this. They're going to lose Chance Gray, which is big, and Tiana Todd, which is also a big loss. But Ava Watson's back, Kylie Kitts, Elsa's coming back as well. So it is important, it's imperative for Ohio State and for Kevin McGuff to keep this core together, add maybe another transfer in, and see where it goes. But this Ohio State team, it's getting to a point where, I make the comparison to the men's basketball team all the time, where I think if the men's basketball team kind of had this kind of run that McGuff has had, that fans would be happy with it. With the women's team, though, it feels like there's a little more pressure now to get out of this, to get to the Sweet 16 next year with this squad. So other news on the women's side, and this is nothing to do with Ohio State. I just wanted to bring this up. Syracuse's head coach, the Syracuse women's coach, Felicia Leggett-Jack, her team lost to UConn. And again, NCAA Women's Tournament, they play the first 2 rounds at a home site for the top 4 seeds in its region for a reason, because they want to try to draw big crowds. There's bigger crowds you can get. And they also want to get people closer to that. So, UConn earned the right to be a number 1 seed in host games. Syracuse, about 4.5 hours away, campus to campus. And so the NCAA put them there, hoping that would get Syracuse fans to come out to the first 2 rounds of the tournament. At least the first round, they had to play their first round game. Syracuse obviously got to win their second round when they're playing UConn. So Syracuse falls 98-45. The score at the half was 65-12. UConn was ahead of Syracuse. That's right, 65-12 at the half. UConn, a much, much better team than Syracuse. Matter of fact, UConn, a much, much better team than almost everybody in college basketball. But Leggett-Jack complained about having to play in Connecticut. This is what she said. For us to do what we've done, to continuously have to come to UConn and every single school that I go to, from Buffalo to Syracuse, it's unfair to the young people. I thought, deserved a little more respect. She was upset that they were forced to go play at UConn. The Syracuse has played the Huskies in the second round in both tournament berths under her. 5 of the program's past 7 appearances overall, they've had to play Connecticut at some point, and 3 of those games were at UConn, at UConn's home court. So, look, it's the rules. If you don't want to play at UConn, then be a top 4 seed. Don't complain about it. And you got to play UConn eventually. You got embarrassed. It wasn't like home court is what led you to lose that game to UConn. UConn's much better than you. 65-12. That has nothing to do with the home court. Now, a 2-point game maybe. 4-point game, close game. You might be able to argue, the home court was the difference. That wasn't the difference yesterday against Syracuse. So, anyway, she was whining about that. Ohio State basketball, men's basketball squad, by the way. Jake Diebler wrapped things up on the Jake Diebler show yesterday. It was on Learfield 97.1 The Fan. But Diebler talked about how much fun this team was. You know, you're losing Bruce Thornton now. You're losing Christoph Tilley. But in uncertainty, let's hope that's all they really lose among the key players. Here is what Jake Diebler had to say. Again, this is on the Jake Diebler show from 97.1 The Fan.
How much fun I had, Ron, going to practice and pushing this team to be its best. Like that part was the best part. These guys enjoyed being around them every day. They enjoyed being around each other. You could see it on their face. We worked extremely hard, and there were times they were probably frustrated with how hard I was pushing them. But, you know, this team was a joy to work with. And I think it was a great part of this group's, you know, like we'll just call it how they'll be remembered is how close they were and the chemistry they had. And I'm appreciative of what this team, you know, how they approached every single day. It wasn't perfect, faced adversity, but they handled it well.
Definitely faced adversity. And you look at the way Ohio State finished up the season. I don't know how you would describe Ohio State's season, but I will say that the last part of the season here, the stretch they went on at the end when they had to win games to get into the tournament, had to win games to get a bye, the double bye in the Big Ten tournament. They had to win those games, and they did. They beat Purdue, who's still alive, last time I checked, in the Sweet 16. Look how tough the Big Ten is, by the way, with 6 teams in the Sweet 16. When you've got Purdue, Michigan State, Michigan, Iowa, Illinois, Nebraska. It's a damn tough Big Ten. Ohio State finished 7th. I just named you 6 teams. 6 teams that are still alive. Ohio State was 7th in that conference. So, not the worst thing. But the way they finished, though, gives a lot of hope for next year. Losing Bruce Thornton certainly is going to hurt. No doubt about it. They've got to find that leadership void. Someone's going to come off for big money for Bynum. Someone's going to offer money to Junie Mobley, too. I hope they stick around. We'll see what Ohio State can do financially to try to keep this team intact as much as they can. They've got a good recruiting class coming in. And they've got the kid from Baylor, the big kid who sat out this whole year after tearing his ACL, that transferred in. So they're gonna be good again next year. They're gonna also schedule. Sounds like the schedule's gonna be not so easy next year. Not that it was easy this year, but their non-conference schedule. It was announced that the CBS Sports Classic, which used to include for years, it's been around since 2014. It used to just be North Carolina, Kentucky, Ohio State, and UCLA. When UCLA joined the Big Ten, it made sense for maybe UCLA to step back from it, or somebody to step back, either Ohio State or UCLA to step back from it, because Ohio State and UCLA wouldn't play each other because they're in the same conference now. St. John's played this past year. They took on Kentucky, and Ohio State played North Carolina, a game Ohio State could have won. Damn it. Anyway, but Kansas now is taking the place of St. John's over the next 4 years, or is going to be in that for the next 4 years. It was announced. So on December 19th, 2026, Ohio State will play Kansas. Then in 2027 will be Kentucky, 2028, Carolina, and then back to 2029 with Kansas. So, but Kansas is the Buckeyes' opponent this year. Here is Jake Diebler talking about the importance of playing games like that in the regular season.
Yeah, really excited about the addition of Kansas to the CBS Sports Classic. Such a big-time event, and all those games seem to come down to the wire. It's a great day of basketball. So, you know, we're excited about the opportunity to play them. We're in talks, you know, for some really great non-conference matchups, and we have a return game to Notre Dame.
That's right.
On the schedule as well. And we also get an additional game on our schedule, regular season game this year. And in full transparency, we haven't decided the direction of that additional game yet.
Significant that they're playing Kansas. Significant that he's talking about beefing things up a little bit with the schedule. Not that last year was a cakewalk. Obviously, they lost to Pitt, but they had to play North Carolina as well. But I know Tom Izzo's approach is always to schedule. You look at Michigan State's non-conference every year. It's ridiculous how many great teams they play, how many great programs they play, how many blue bloods they play. Now, Izzo's got the advantage of being there since, 1986. And there's no way, no matter how poorly the team does, they're not getting rid of Tom Izzo. He can absorb 6 losses in non-conference if that happens to be the case. Diebler probably can't absorb that. Nonetheless, though, I think that playing games like the Kansas game and other quality opponents, power conference opponents, would be good in the long run for Ohio State as they get into the teeth of the Big Ten schedule, Big Ten tournament, and then the NCAA tournament again next year is what we're looking at. So, all right, folks, that's it for me, Jeff Thitoff. This has been the Buckeye Blitz. Follow me on Twitter @ThitHappens, where you can find me. This has been the Buckeye Blitz on FanStream Sports.